It's your girl, Aisha Lewis Redway, and I'm coming through with another Indie Talks, right? Listen, you already know we have, talent upon talent, right? So we are sitting exclusively today with not only multi Grammy nominated, he wears multiple hats, all right? He's a writer, he's a producer, he's an arranger, and we're adding artists
Absolutely.
to the list.
That's when I know what to say, yeah, now I know the play. It's always working for me. Hey, was in me, didn't see it in me. But now I'm changed. I'm changed, I'm glad. Oh, you saw right through me. I'm glad you decided, yeah. Oh, don't stop building me.
So we want to thank you, Aaron Sledge, for definitely sitting with us and having this conversation today.
Pleasure. Absolutely.
Man, listen, first of all, let's get into this because I'm super excited. This is like one of like my like interviews where I'm just like, oh my God, this is somebody like I definitely want to talk to. Like definitely need to get it. Like I remember when I was working, I started as an intern when I was working for Zama Gospel when that now it's RCA Inspiration. And I was like really getting to know the industry, the gospel roots and things of that nature. And I know you were at the time EMI. So it was just like I was getting and like seeing different, listening to different CDs, different things. I was like, oh my gosh, I remember this. So it's definitely a privilege to be able to sit and have this conversation with such like legendary, just know that what you got going on. All right. I'm gonna give you your flowers.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yes, yes. Let's talk about it because listen, Chi-Town is in the building. You got that roots, rich gospel tradition, not only for yourself, your sibling, BJ, the Chicago kid. Talk about your influences in coming up in music.
Oh man, influences. One of my greatest influence was Donny Hathaway. I mean,
Mm.
his tone, the lyrics that he sang, like, I mean, he was just like, man. Then Marvin Gaye, oh man. Then on the gospel side, the Winans Commission, the Clark sisters, oh man, just Shirley Caesar just had some amazing talent, just surrounded by amazing talent on both sides, and this just really, impacted my life as far as music is concerned.
Oh, amazing. Yes. Can you talk about you kind of being raised and when you felt like it was a pivotal moment for you in regards to going into music and when you just had like that aha moment, like, I know this is it.
I think my pivotal moment um was church. Absolutely. Like, going to church, my parents were directors. I went to a church that I served heavily in, which was prayer band on the south side of Chicago. Oh man, played drums there, sang there. That's really where I became an artist there. I had a cousin, he was a guitar player at the church, and he was like, "You need to be an artist." Next thing I know, he had background singers. He had put the band together for me. And he really like planted that seed inside of me. My grandparents, would sit on the front row with her tambourine and play her song and sing. So all of that really was a big influence on who I am today.
Oh, amazing. And I love that because, a lot of like artists and musicians has start heavily in the church, right?
Mhm.
We know what it is.
Right.
Talk about how you was able to bridge the gap in regards to just gospel music and kind of going into different areas and different sounds when it comes to like the different sounds of like R&B, hip hop, and being able to pull that together coming from such a strong background
Yeah.
in gospel traditionally.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's almost like when you repair ACs or you repair refrigerators. You go into the church, you repair that same refrigerator, you go and it's the same refrigerator at Bonds, the same refrigerator at Ralph's. And I just feel like when it concerns that, I just go into it and I just be me. I don't try and become someone else. So no matter what space I am, I'm always me. So I always find that place of comfort. And the cool thing is I was raised on secular music as well as gospel music. So we had a even slay of both of them, if you will. And so I just feel like when I move from, it's just subjects. The music and the beats are pretty much the same for a lot of genres. You take away a
Mhm.
bass or take away some drums here, but it's just moving into different spaces and understand the space that you're in. And to
And what was and what is it for you? Like, how do you able to kind of tap and switch? Like, I know you said like it's kind of saying you're able to take certain instruments and kind of pull certain
yeah,
things and sounds for you mentally,
yeah,
right? I think it takes so much to be in a space where you're able to create. Like, how are you able to pull in yourself mentally to be able to be in that atmosphere, whether if it's working with a gospel artist or working with a
yeah.
secular artists in R&B, hip hop, or things like that? How are you able to kind of pull
Well,
yourself
I mean,
into it?
well, life. I have an amazing wife, so I can write about different perspectives of love, and so it's just I've been living for a minute now, and experienced so many things. So I have so many things to draw from, and I have an amazing creative brain, if you will. So I mean, it's to me,
I
it's
mean, you
fun.
write any hits, of course you do, right? Why not?
Yeah, I mean, and I think I find it a great challenge and an accepted challenge, if you will, when I go to different genres like that, because I'm able to just still be me and to be, for lack of a humble way to say it, great in the space, you
Mhm.
know. So it's just knowing what you're doing and where you're going and how to get there.
So let's kind of talk about it, because you talked about, working in gospel and then kind of working across the board, right, in
Mhm.
secular music. So you have worked with so many different artists, Cardi B, Mario, not Mary Mary. You have actually done background vocals as well, Smokey Norfolk. I want you to talk about like how you're able to adapt the songwriting and production in such different creative worlds,
Mhm.
in the sense of you just, like, do you kind of you kind of go with the flow with what they're wanting, or you were you able to kind of put that input or kind of put what you kind of feel in the sense of
Well,
the music for
It
them?
depends on who you're working with. Some artists, they trust the writer. So if you're getting the call to come and write or send a record, whatever the call it is, you're getting that call. Someone trusts you, and someone
Mm.
knows that you're able to meet the challenge. Now you have artists where they want to say and do different things that you may not necessarily agree or would do if it was just you writing alone. But I mean, that's just part of working with non-believers. I mean, I don't some people have a problem with that. I don't. Like, I don't, man, how can you reach a non-believer if you're not working with it, if you're not somehow communicating with them at some point? And so my witness is never compromised in rooms. Like, that kind
Mm.
of thing is I'm still me, and I'm able to be me and enjoy myself, and they enjoy who I am, because I'm not here with the with a physical Bible saying, listen, the word of God says on the first, you know what I mean? Like, it's just I feel like the Bible. What I feel like the Bible says a wise man winneth the souls, and I just feel like just go in and just be you. Let God shine, not you.
I love that. And of course there's a lot of debate, and there was and there and I won't go too deep, but there was a lot of controversy, especially when, the BET Awards happened, and
Yeah,
Kirk Franklin and Glorilla and Kier shared everybody that they got this award, or Glorilla won this award featuring all of
yeah,
these gospel greats. And they kind of talk about a space, and I say the same thing whenever anybody asks. I was just like, I think you're missing the point, in the sense
yeah.
of that they're in the room with these individuals
And the
who may
Bible
not
talks
be
about
believing, and
there you
who
go.
may be going through some trouble and don't know how
Yes,
to even change gears. And I was like,
yes.
the fact that they're at least there and it can reach someone, like, that's
Yeah.
impactful,
And
like
and then
very impactful.
Yeah, and then think about it. The Bible talks about how we go and we do the things that we're supposed to do in order to win the souls, and we go out into the fields. We go beyond the church. Like, at the end of the day, this and the crazy thing is, just like the Bible talks about, every generation gets wickeder and wiser. So how do you think our approach needs to be wiser?
Mm,
And so at the end of the day, I don't feed into, some people come from, like, for instance, my parents came from a generation where it was a sin to go to the movies. What?
mm,
Like, it's just so many. And then you have a lot of, not necessarily my parents leaders, but you have a lot of older leaders come back and be like, yo, we missed it. You guys could have went and saw Indiana Jones. That was not a sin. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I just feel like, you know allow God to take in space, because the Bible says your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. You know what I mean?
Very
So
true.
bring you for great opportunities. And I feel like, let's not be deep. Let's just go do what he said do. Like, why are you tripping about the ride? Whether it's Uber Black or just an Uber, get in the car and go.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Oh, and we're gonna come back because I know I definitely want to talk about the reshaping and redefining of gospel
Mhm.
industry, right? When it comes to I want to kind of go into your creative process, right?
Mhm.
In the fact that I think one thing that even when I work with artists and I'm talking with them, like vulnerability is like
Yeah.
so so key,
Key.
and it can be easy for some and
Mhm.
difficult for others, right?
Yeah.
From your perspective, of many hats, whether if you're the arranger, you're the producer, you're the writer, how are you able to have those you work with tap into that, or for even for you to tap into your vulnerability,
Well,
especially now that you're an
yeah.
artist.
I feel like that's why when you feel projects that I've touched, records that I've touched, or that I've written, my music, you feel a certain way because that's what you're feeling. You're hearing, you're experiencing the vulnerability. My thing is, I look at my music as being a iPad or a screen that you can look
Mm,
into whatever the heart of the artist. That's why I don't believe in overshadowing artists when they come in. The artists have to be themselves. They are the vessel that brings forth the message, whatever that message is, whether it's R&B, whether it's pop, whether it's country, whether it's gospel. So they have to be themselves and be comfortable to be able to carry that backpack, if you will, and be able to present it the way that it needs to be presented. So that's why I feel like it's very important to let artists be artists in the moment, so that everybody in the room is vulnerable, especially if you're writing that kind of record, and you being honest with people, and that's what people connect to. They want it. That's Instagram. They want to see that vulnerability, that real life. You know what I mean? TikTok.
being authentic.
Absolutely.
Yes. Can you describe any time where you felt like it was either the most easiest or the most difficult to be able to work with someone in the space
Well,
to be able to pull that?
without saying any names, I've worked with some secular artists that was super challenging. You know, egos are a monster. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And sometimes egos can get in the way of the work. They can get in the way of the process. They can get in the way of the product. And sometimes a lot of time it hinders, especially when you have people in the room that don't know how to host your ego. Like
mm.
I've been at this for quite some time, so I know how to host a big ego. My ego stays in my backpack, so I ain't never got to worry about it getting out running around. But I know how to host big egos and just play my role. I'm here to do blah 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 blah. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna have a good result.
Now, with some of the names in the projects that you have contributed to, what would you say has been the most surprising or like most like rewarding collaboration you have had over these years?
Mm. Well, honestly, this current collaboration that I have with my brother BJ has been overwhelming. It's been surprising. It's been everything that I never expected it to be. Of course, I
Mm.
had great expectations for the record, but I think my expectations were crushed and steamrolled with, everything that God has done with this. I mean, almost the record has been out just look maybe a month now. It's at 50 something thousand streams just on Spotify. I started, I think, with maybe 49 listeners because I hadn't put any music out on Spotify. I'm probably a little over 21,000, so far. So I mean, and then 18 editorial playlists. What God is good. You know what I mean? 22 playlists
Amazing.
in totality. So it's been an amazing ride.
I love it. And we're
Absolutely.
gonna actually we'll switch gears and we'll just go right into this since you brought up the Masterpiece single. So the latest is Masterpiece featuring your brother, as you said. Talk about how that ideal collaboration was able to come up because I mean you're both in music, you've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
And to I love this single in regards to hear both of you.
Yeah.
And it's amazing and it just seems so powerful. Talk about how you actually had the ideal and just to be able to collab together.
Well, it's crazy because I had actually did the record and I had no features. I wasn't trying to call features. Because I know features can get you deal with schedules, you deal with artists, and it's a lot to deal with. It's not just come jump on this record. And so I was just calling my brother Beach. I was like, yo, who do you think I should get to mix my record? I'm finishing up my record. And he's like, record? He's like, man, send me what you want me to jump on. And I was like, no. I said, I'm good. No, I'm cool. He's like, no, send it to me. I said, all right, I got you. 2 weeks went past. I didn't send anything. He called me. He's like, yo, I noticed you ain't sent the record yet. What's up? So I was in the room with my family. I was like, yo, Jay, send the record to him. And they was like, go ahead. They was like, my wife was like, go ahead and send the record. So I actually sent the record Masterpiece. And it was like, oh man, what an alley oop and slam dunk all at the same time. That's how that record came about. But yeah, I was glad we did.
Oh, amazing. And the one thing that I feel that I get when I listen to the song, because I listen to it multiple times, very personal, very, like a celebration. What is the one message or the one takeaway that you want? Because like you said, you were very surprised of the responses and things of that nature. What is the one message you feel that's deep to you, that's connected to you, that you want your audience and your fans to be able to take away from this?
Well, a lot of times we go through different things, and the different things we go through sometimes wear on us. Sometimes it taps into our joy, our happiness, our peace, and sometimes we just need to be. And sometimes when those things happen, I know. Let me speak about myself. Sometimes I always like to reevaluate myself. Where am I today versus where I was last week this time or last year this time? And sometimes, if you set marks and you set little anchors that you want to go and meet and touch, and you haven't yet touched them, sometimes you second guess the thing. And so this record is just something to affirm that you are a masterpiece. I don't care if you feel like you behind schedule. If you missed a few marks, it's okay. God has this all designed so that you are what he designed you to be, which is the masterpiece. So no matter what, if your joy has been messed with, your peace has been messed with, know that you are still that masterpiece.
I love it. I love it. Because I think I literally had a conversation with someone and was just like, she just felt like, well, I'm older and I should have been at this stage and this stage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, girl, God got
Yeah.
you exactly where you're supposed
That's
to be,
right.
where you're needed in this
Yeah.
time. Like,
Absolutely.
and we have to, and even when I was speaking that, it was like encouragement to myself. So when I heard the track, I was like, this
Yeah.
is amazing. This is perfect. Oh, great timing. So I was like, and this is amazing. And with that being said, do you feel like the energy creating with family, since you're on with your brother, is that different from actually creating with someone that's outside of you, like just a friend or someone you just coming across like, okay, look, this is business?
Yeah. Well, it's always going to be different because I'm singing with someone that I grew up with, someone that I know him musically like I know him personally. So it's almost like how you can dribble down the court, you get to the ball, I can give him a magic pass with no look pass. I know he got that. You know what I mean? So yes, it's a level of trust, a certain level of comfort, and so it's just those are the perfect ingredients for that perfect storm.
Now, do you see this being a full-fledged family project?
You never know. You never know what the future holds. You never know what happens.
Like, can we get a little tea?
But it'll be dope. It'll be dope for sure. But you never
Okay.
know. You never
Oh,
know.
you ain't trying to spill. Okay, I see.
We gonna
I
keep that in
got
the
you.
club.
It's okay. And I what I love about this as well is, it gives me a lot of good energy. It gives a lot of good affirmations. Is that the direction? So when you do look to put out, in regards to an upcoming project or EP or album or however you want to spell it out, what is the direction? What is the tone in a sense that you feel that you want to be able to share with your fans?
Well, I actually have a project coming out the first quarter of next year. It's entitled Legacy. It's a project, an amazing body of work. I'm honored that God called me to carry this particular body of work. I feel like it's the best body of work I've ever put out, hands down, no second guessing. I ain't saying it because it's new music, but it's actually the best body of work I've ever done. I feel like this project, and it embodies pain. It embodies redemption. It embodies healing. It embodies victory. So this is like this one of those records where you can ride on repeat from Chicago to Cali. You know what I mean? From Detroit to New York, and
Well,
and on repeat. So this is one of them projects where you're gonna most definitely love everything from. And I have some even outside of my brother, I have some amazing features on this record now as well. So man, I can't wait for you guys to hear it. Absolutely.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting us know.
Thank
So of
you.
course we have to support. Send it. We're gonna reach out to your team. Send it to it. We're
Absolutely.
gonna support. We're gonna push.
I gotta
Whatever we
come
gotta
back.
do.
I gotta
We
come
got
back.
you.
I gotta come
We
back.
we community.
Let's
We all we
do it.
got.
That's right. We fam. We fam.
All right.
Yes.
And I do want to talk about, because I want to go back to, I know originally when we first talked, when we first came on, I was kind of talk about, when you were originally signed to EMI,
Yeah.
you put out your debut album,
Yeah.
and now we're at a point you're getting ready to release this legacy
Yeah.
upcoming project. Talk about gospel music and how it, origin from the difference, because now in gospel we have a lot of like R&B sound. We got like the hip hop rap when it comes to gospel rap, and how they want to be able to categorize it in a box and things of that nature, but everybody have like this unique sound, this neo soul. And how are you able to push into these spaces now, that they're changing and reshaping when it comes from traditional gospel?
Well, I feel like I'm stepping into a room I'm familiar with, because these are all the sounds that I currently write. So it's just changing the message. I feel like gospel music is in a great place because it's evolving. Everything you just said, put like this, when I was at EMI and you was at Zomba, we couldn't have said all of these genres. Like honestly, that's why I feel like, even though that EMI project that I put out was Grammy nominated, I feel like it didn't do what it could have done, because I feel like it was almost before its time, if you will. So I feel like now that a lot of these sounds and a lot of these different genres are accepted in the genre of gospel. And not just accepted, it's pushed. Like I work with a pioneer in gospel, like a couple pioneers in gospel, Gina Miller and
Yes.
Paul Wright, and Paul Wright the third. And so to just know that they're still flourishing, and they know how to adapt, know how to move, and it's just a great experience. I really thank God that He surrounded me by the people He surrounded me by at this particular time, and it's a masterpiece. You know what I mean? And
I love it.
I love it absolutely.
And you touched on something where you said that project was ahead of its time, because yes, you are multi Grammy nominated, and you definitely push yourself in a space to be innovative. If you had to reimage this project, to be able to represent to audience now, like, would you, or is there any
Honestly,
particular way that you would be able to
well,
represent?
if I were to repackage meaning my EMI project,
Yes.
I would just put it out. I mean, my thing is the message is still the same. Of course, I would like to go and do some other things vocally, but production wise. But I mean, as far as the message, I still have people asking me. It's because it's not streaming yet. So I'm about to put that up in the next few months as well. So people have still been asking for it. So at the end of the day, it's still relevant. And
Yeah.
so I think this is the this legacy project is the champ of the two. It's the dad of the other two projects. You know what I mean? And so I'm super excited about being able to let people hear and experience it. Like I've had some small little private listening situations, and man, the room is always impacted, like
Yeah.
mind blowing. Like I'm like, God, what are you doing? Like to honestly, to
Yes.
that degree, to see people with tears coming down their eyes, and to see people just,
Mhm.
oh man, it's breathtaking. I promise you. That's why I'm anxious. Like honestly, if I didn't have these giants around me, leading me and guiding me, Paul, Gina, and the whole team, Sam,
You be like, look,
yeah. Oh, I probably
push
been
release,
put this
push
music out. This
release.
music would have been out 30 days ago. But I understand it's a process.
Yeah.
You can't just dump on people. So I get it. But at the end of the day, yes, I'm excited about it coming out, and I'm sure once you hear it, you're gonna feel the same way I do. Absolutely.
And talk about the growth, because you said that with legacy, we're gonna hear pain, we're gonna hear it all, like, everything, from when you initially started and coming on the scene artist wise,
Mhm.
to where you at now and what you're developing in the lab and what you're getting ready to release, talk about that growth process, talk about for you personally and what that means.
I think we hit on that when we start talking about being vulnerable. I think this
Mm,
is a vulnerable project. I think um um this is one of my most honest projects, you know, as far as where I am, where I've been, where I'm going, how I feel about God even calling me back to do this. Because I wasn't the whole purpose of this was to just build records and to just add to my catalog because I still work in the business. So I did not understand and didn't know, I didn't have the foresight to see that God was actually building my album. And I didn't realize that. So, you know, man, all glory be to God. I thank God for the process.
yes. And also, I want to kind of touch base on everything because I know that we're incorporating, obviously, in this new age, we have a lot of social media
Mm-hmm.
streaming platforms. We got TikTok.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, is there now you experiencing going through all of these transitions in regards to how people are marketing the music, how they're basically putting it out.
Mm.
You know, how do you feel about a lot of these platforms, especially trying to reach new audiences? Is it the same way you feel how you're able to go in the studio and you're working with secular artists and things of that nature? Like, how do you feel about this new age and how they're pushing
Mhm.
music?
Well, I love it. I love it because it gives the artist more liberty, more freedom. You don't have to be signed to an EMI or somebody else to make moves now. If you have the knowledge, if you can put yourself around knowledgeable people, you can move just like them. You know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, I love the fact that artists finally they get a chance to do some great things and not necessarily have to be signed to someone to do it.
And I'm glad you said that because it leads me into my next question before we start wrapping up and going into your vision.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there is a lot of praise and a lot of, you know, talks in regards to industry, whether if not, it's important to be signed to a major or just to be independent, and but a lot of push to be more so independent. And
Mm-hmm.
I even with some of your things that you have done in the past that you basically were independent afterwards and then
Mm-hmm.
just you know, did to have the label experience, you have the indie experience.
Yeah.
What encouragement or what I will say advice that you say to artists today or when you're working, like, is it preferable to just be independent with the
Well,
climate of the industry?
I would say you have more freedom and more power when you're independent. Like you know, and everything don't cost an arm and a leg to get done. So I would really push the whole indie thing, you know, even if you just go get distribution. Like right now, I'm still indie. I have major distribution. So at the end of the day, I would just push whatever the route you need to take to push what you're doing. You know, some people, I don't listen. I don't want to deal with all that. I just rather go ahead and do the deal. Let them worry about that. But as an artist, you still have a certain level of responsibility. So if you're gonna take on that kind of responsibility that you need to take on, you might as well be indie and do it yourself. And I understand
Yes.
as an artist, you want to create. You don't want to be thinking about pushing, marketing, the PR, this, and that. But surround yourself with a great team.
I
That's
love
the key.
that. I love it. There's still work to be done, of
Absolutely,
course.
always, always.
Always. Well, first of all, Aaron, thank you so much just for this sit down, this real conversation. This is what I love. I love being able to get the realness and the fullness because that's
Yeah,
what our slogan is. We're about real music, real people, and real style. So,
yeah.
let's kind of talk about, you know, how you're purpose driven, right?
Mhm.
And what guides you today in your artistry and how are you able to influence the up and coming artists and
I think
producers and the writers that are looking to really step into this lane.
I'm passionate about what I do. That's my drive, my passion. Like I still wake up and write records like like I've accomplished nothing. Like I've
Mhm.
never placed the artist like placed a record on an artist or ever been nominated for a Grammy. So I think my passion drives me. And if you don't have the passion, the business of of this music industry will wear you down. But at the end of the day, you have to be passionate about what you do. I think if you're passionate about what you do, the passion will kind of, you know, lead you and guide you around some of the red tape and some of the obstacles. And, you know, your passion going to introduce you to other passionate people. And as a group, you guys are going to begin to move and do some incredible things. So I think if you're passion driven, that's the best way to be yourself, navigate to be true to what this is.
Amazing. And what would you say has been one of the biggest lessons learned in all these years of really trying to like put your best foot forward in this industry, no
Trust me.
matter which hat you're wearing?
I think it's trusting yourself. Of course, trusting God first and foremost, but trusting yourself, trusting in the call that He's placed on your life. I feel like it's difficult to move when you're insecure, when you're not solid. You know what I mean? That's when you fall apart in the different rooms and different things like that. But just being solid with who you are.
Is there anything you feel like you would change to be able to better support artists and writers when it comes to this industry? Is there anything that you particularly say that we need to come together as a community and really work on and give
Yeah, I
support in a
mean,
way?
it's as far as pay for artists with streaming and different things, man. These artists, we all put in hard work. We all,
Yes.
man, day in, day out, and to get what some of the streaming platforms wants to offer you is kind of a different thing. So if I could change anything, it will most definitely be that, which that is in the process of being changed. So man, that's a blessing.
Okay. Yeah, I've
Absolutely.
seen some things out there that
Yeah.
they should work
Yep.
on, and all that good stuff. I do want to throw a little curveball in because I know this is like some of the biggest, and I would love to get your insight. So AI is like this huge topic, right?
Yes.
And we talk about, and I know for me, it's like sometimes I debate other people and I say, you know what, if we look over through the years, look how innovative we have came, like where we started out with equalizers and we moved into this, and now your DJs are DJing off their MacBooks and sorts of things, right? And I I wanted to get your opinion, like how do you feel from, especially from, as an arranger,
Yeah.
songwriter, producer, about how where the innovation is going into AI when it comes to music.
I feel like
We got AI artists, we got
yeah, I feel but
labels.
I feel like how can that AI artist fill an arena and give you that passionate performance that Beyonce gonna give you?
Mm,
How they gonna make you feel like when you hear a Joe record or when you hear a Chris Brown record? Ain't no AI gonna be able to float through the arena and sing to you for 3 hours all those hits. You see what I'm saying? I just saw last night on TV where AI has tapped into the movie side of things. Like, so I
yeah,
mean, I think it's the inevitable. It's going to happen, but I just
yeah.
think it's going to be hard to replace a Stay by Tyrese. It's
Mm,
it's, it's going to be hard to replace a Stevie Wonder, an Anita Baker. It's going to be hard to replace Chris. I mean, it's just I don't care how you make these music because honestly, they haven't worked out all the kinks, and you can still hear what when it's AI. You know,
correct.
and I just have a hard time believing
If
that.
you got the ear for it.
Yeah, if you got the ear for it, exactly. But at the same time, I just feel like it's always going to be space for that human interaction.
Mm,
You know what I mean? It has to be that. It has to be that because I'm sorry, I don't care how good AI can sing or write, you're not going to be able to uh override my emotion. You're not going to even be able to match my emotion, especially when you're going through something and you singing and writing about it and you telling that story. Man, come
there
on.
we go. There
Yeah,
we go.
it's
Like you didn't
unmatched.
experience what I went through.
Exactly. Somebody
You
told you
can't
about
touch
this. I
it.
walked this street. Yeah.
I hear you. Listen, that we're here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
um, and last question, like how do you feel what legacy is described, or the definition of legacy in a sense, especially since you're getting ready to have a legacy project that's coming up, that's getting ready to release. Talk about your definition of that and how you're in your own right and you want how you want that legacy to be shaped.
Well, I want my legacy to be shaped. Aaron is passionate about music. He's passionate about the gospel. He's passionate about the calling that's on his life. I don't take anything for granted, especially when it comes to music and to be able to do what I'm doing at such a high level all this time. Even when I wasn't in the face of people as an artist, I was still behind the scenes doing placing records and working with artists. But I want my legacy to be one of integrity, one of trust, um, one of just hard work. I tell my daughters all the time, hard work always gonna pay off. It's the work. My daughters, I have some amazing daughters. My daughters are into acting, so they've done everything from Star Wars to Mark Wahlberg, Kevin Hart. They've done so many things. I don't even want to eat up the space talking about that, but it's because of since they've been children. I've always tell them, I can tell them that no weapon formed against you is won't prosper. Yeah, man, listen, we trust in God and not man, and da 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 da. All these affirmations that me and my wife has always taught them and put into them, and to this
Love it.
day, it serves as our legacy, because when they see our kids in the music that we leave out, the songs that I write, those are offsprings, those are children of mine, and so when you see those works and you hear those works, it's crazy. My 14-year-old daughter be playing music that I wrote before she was born.
Mm.
She'd be rocking to it like, Daddy. Like one song she asked me, she said, Dad, when I get married, can you please sing this song at my wedding? That blew me away. You know what I mean? Because my daughter has an ear for music. Sometimes well, I can say sometimes, a lot of times she introduced me to a lot of dope artists. So that's how far into music she is. And so to have that happen, I know that my legacy is playing out the way it ought to.
I love it. I mean, it's everything about your music, everything that you have done that I've been a fan
Mm.
and really studying it and really understanding, like you said, it was far beyond its time at that time.
Yes. Yes.
And to be able to hear you saying your daughter is playing the
Yes.
music and it's bumping to it like it's a fresh
Yes.
90s track, like
Absolutely right.
you
Yeah,
know,
right.
is so just it feels good. It feels good and to be able to hear that and to say that. And then of course, one thing about music, especially from one thing I love hearing music that I know that is just timeless.
Yes.
It
Yes.
just goes throughout time.
Yes.
And you have been amazing. I'm giving your flowers,
Thank you so much.
to you and what you have done and what you have created and what you're going to continue to create
Absolutely.
down the
Absolutely.
line. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much.
And my pleasure. My pleasure.
And listen, coming up
Absolutely.
2026.
2026 Legacy is coming out first quarter. Be checking for that record. I have the amazing Evan Ford on the record. The homie Evan is a force. And I have the remarkable, the impeccable Grace Adul. I know. Have you know who Grace is? Grace is the one, she's online. She sits with her legs crossed and oh my goodness.
Yeah, yes.
She's a fireball. So yeah, I have some amazing features, and so I can't wait for you guys to hear it. My second single, actually, even before the second single come out, I'm dropping a Christmas record just to hold you guys over the holiday till we get to the first quarter. So yeah, I got a Christmas song dropping out. It's called Like Christmas, and it's with my homegirl V Rose. I'm so excited about that
Oh,
record. So
wow.
we got a bunch of stuff we about to shoot it, y'all, man. I know y'all gonna love it, embrace it, man. And
Yes.
it's gonna be one of those things.
Yes, of course. We're super excited.
Thank
Listen, you
you.
already know, like I said, we family now. We over you
Man,
shoot
Kimpo,
it over. We got you.
Kimpo, absolutely. Yes, yes, I most definitely will.
I love this. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for this. And please blessings to you, your family,
Thank you.
your
Likewise.
artistry, and continue legacy in what you're doing.
Yes,
So thank you so much for being here
thank
with
you.
us, guys. You already know. Listen, this has been another episode of Indie Talks where we sit with nothing but the greatest when it comes to this industry. All right.
Yes,
And thank you, Aaron Sledge, for just being great for what you do.
thank you. Likewise. Thank you.
All
Absolutely.
right.